I am very surprised that no one talks about troglodyte. Yes, you heard that right. Troglodyte. It is, you could say, a person. The dictionary defines it as a hermit, a person who is regarded as being deliberately ignorant. It is not commonly used these days, but amongst astrologers and spiritualists, it is something when you hear the word, you stop. You're reminding yourself and each other that that exists, that person exists, and it exists in us. And there's another name for it. We all think that Mercury in retrograde is this huge issue, this huge deal in our lives that causes a lot of turmoil and chaos and prevents things from happening. When I'm working with clients that have a business or they want to succeed in their job, their life as a mother or a parent, and they want to be the best parent they can be, and they want, to be guided. How can I raise my kids? What are these tricks and what's the best approach today, Shaunna? As their spiritual coach, it's customized per client, which is probably the best part of my job. I can coach a business owner, which comes with add-on packages as being their marketer or their graphic designer, and knowing their audience and knowing who they are, so I know what they want, I know what to look for. But then I also can coach the mother and read the natal charts of who she is and who her children are. And so when she's having an issue with her child and their child has a temper tantrum, I could show her, no, your child is a Leo, full of fire. Your child has a Chiron in Sagittarius, so there's going to be some healing in this area, so there's going to be limitations here and there. Your child will be more prone to this, more prone to that. Have more patience here. This day is going to be hard. Tomorrow, look ahead for this. This is a possibility. Forecast this. So many tools, and there's not enough people who offer that. And so when I found that I had the gift and the wisdom and knowledge to offer that, once I got certified, I just jumped on board. But once I discovered troglodyte, a part of me was like, why isn't this more known? Why aren't we talking about this? Screw Mercury retrograde. Why isn't more knowledge out there about this douchebag? It's an intruder that occupies our interior. It camouflages itself in the most unsuspected roles in our lives. It's the professional envier. It's the hater on social networks, the ones commenting things that they would never actually say to your face. It's the perfectionist. It's the I don't give a fuck guy. It's the political analyst. It's the compulsive shopper. It's the family dictator. It's the sports critic. It's the know-it-all dude, or it's that one friend that's just vomit of the mouth and says what she thinks. Will be too direct, making you feel insecure about yourself. A person you have to share a room, maybe, life, family, like it's a brother or sister, like you're stuck with. But these days, no, you can disown. I am fully in support of that. You could still support, care, love, and not be around them. Toxic people. Every time this person, this thing possesses you, it puts you in trouble. It's that inner voice that's irritated by anything and everything. Sometimes you don't say it out loud. It's just inside, it's internal, that only you hear. Things that you would never actually admit or say out loud. But it talks to you, it speaks, it says these nasty things. Things that you think, but it's really not you. It's this person. It's this troglodyte. It is troglodyte. Another word for it, it's your ego.
Let's get to tonight's big story. Me.
But throughout ancient history, throughout philosophy and spiritual studies, the correct term and name for it is troglodyte. It is to the point that the troglodyte who would sell his mother for short-term dopamine rewards is screwing with your law of attraction, preventing you from materializing anything you desire. So, my friends, my lovelies, the law of attraction will not work for you until you understand this. You want to manifest things, you want life to go your way, you want to be blessed by God, by the divine, you want things to work out for you. You need to understand who troglodyte is. It would make sense that troglodyte can destroy lives. He can destroy marriages. He can destroy jobs. He can cause deaths. He can cause complete and total misery. By many various religions, cultures, call him by different names. Many think he's an evil spirit. Many think he's a demon. And for possibilities, he very well might be. I would say that demon, that sinful side of us, don't get it confused with our shadow self. There is definitely a difference, and I will explain that difference in another video. He is definitely not our shadow self. It is part of us that if we were raised in an unhealthy upbringing with bad parents, with bad surroundings, that we would probably have grown up to be the next Hitler or someone that was evil because of a bad upbringing. That we would allow this to take over and make bad choices. We're all born with the possibility of troglodyte taking over and making and controlling our choices indefinitely. There's people who do. And you can call it sin. You can call it a demon. You can call it whatever you want. Like I said, different cultures call it different things. But throughout the cosmos and astrologies and the studies of which I focus on, it's the name of the ego. And we all have one. We all are either able to control it. Sometimes we let it slip. We're not perfect. But one thing is certain. It can affect how we manifest things in our lives, and it plays a pivotal part in that. So to ensure your advancements in life are not being hindered in any way, do these 3 things, and guaranteed you will see shit happen and move in your life. Now, don't get it confused with temporary joys. That happens everywhere. And honestly, it's like a tease. Now, there's so much of that happens. It's like when you see like evil people succeed or good people, bad people looking happy, and people wonder why. And there's just this mystery as to why that's allowed karmically, which is for a whole nother video. But for a bigger picture and long-term joy and contentment and blessings and manifestation, implementing these 3 things will ensure its consistency in your life. Of course, the very first thing brings it back to pretty much Sunday school basics, and that is thou shalt not judge. That is literally the number 1 thing here. Which, if you think about it, the first thing you learn is about life, about that virtue, is don't judge. Don't presume. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a person by their skin color. Don't profile. That is a very common thing we learn, whether it be from our parents, society, or school. And that voice inside of you always has to have an opinion on everything, even if it doesn't even know half of the things it has an opinion on. You need to remind yourself every single day, even 20 times, hey, I'm here. When you feel yourself judging, profiling, check yourself and say, I am not the voice inside my head. That is not me. I am the one listening. I am the one in control. Sounds like bullshit, but it's really not. Now, once you've silenced your judgment as best as you can, because we're not perfect, but getting your judgmental side silenced as much as possible, which means you're bringing in more humility. The second thing is to deconstruct yourself, which in a sense, you're rethinking who you are. You have to deconstruct yourself. You have to discover the parts that make you up. Then dictate yourself to enhancing it through the law of attraction visualizing and working on it. Everything else comes on its own. Why? Because for the first time in your life, you will know what your unconscious desires are. And that will be aligned with your power to manifest. A good tip would be try to find what sets you apart from the rest. I think that is so important for people to do because that's kind of our primal instincts. It's like a survival instinct. We need to survive. It's like when we're born in amongst a litter, and it's, the strongest will survive, and then there's the runt, the one that didn't get to the tit first. That's just nature. That's just a part of being, in a sense, an animal, a part of nature. And there's no shame in trying to find what sets you apart, what gifts you have. It's even biblical if you're a Christian. God gives certain gifts to certain people, something that's unique and gifted just to you. And novelty is always necessary because it can arouse interest, entertain, and dissolve boredom, which are all so important. It helps to avoid depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, just overall self-care. Many believe that boredom is a form of pain, like physical pain, that could really affect people, and with society and the increase in the need for antidepressants. Boredom, especially with the COVID pandemic and everybody having to go in, be secluded, it's like a personal crisis. So finding something that sets you apart, that aids in that, is so important, and it gives you kind of a more defined definition of who you are. Finding this will inspire you. It will perhaps help you to suffer less, give to others more, help you find ways to make money, different channels of income flowing in. Perhaps it's a hobby of a great talent that you have that you can make money from. You will just overall feel good about yourself when you see that you're really good at something and others recognize it too. And the third is you have to move. You have to have action. And it doesn't have to be big. It could just be of one little movement a day, because little equates to a lot over time. But doing absolutely nothing equates to nothing. But if you make one little change a day, if you times it by how many days in a month or year, you're advancing. When you're thirsty, you get up and drink water. When you're hungry, you get up and eat. When you have to pee, you go to the bathroom. So in the law of attraction, it is the same. More than just visualizing it, you have to feel the desire in your gut. That's your hunger. And then use your instinct. That's like your sense of smell. And that's why you must learn to turn down your troglodyte and listen to your soul. Because only your subconscious knows what you want so badly that you want to go out and get what you want, your desires, what you want to manifest, your dreams. Only your subconscious knows. Feel it in your gut, what you're really after in life, what will make you happy, and use your instinct to go after it with action. The hunger to achieve that goal will do the rest. You just have to get up and take action. And you have no idea how that third and final thing makes or breaks this whole thing. Because actually getting up and doing something is the hardest thing. It's like when someone suffers from depression or a bad day or something bad happens in their life, or something petty, something serious. It can immobilize a person, and they will take a sick day, go to bed and not want to get up, not want to eat. A lot of people are affected by things. Sometimes they don't even want to have a social media because they can't stand to see other people happy or post things or achieve and be successful, and it makes them mad, jealous, but they don't even want to say that out loud. They just can't handle it. So they turn off from the world because it puts them in a depressive state, seeing other people living life. They can't separate it from their own misery, in a sense. They don't have the strength to get up and take action of themselves, for themselves, to go after what they want. The action itself is so hard for them. But those two things prior is what helps you achieve the last and final thing. Hopefully, this has taught you a little bit about the spiritual side to troglodyte, which is not just an insult you could call someone. It's actually a name of this evil side that we all have, of another name for our ego, that truly is a lot worse than any Mercury retrograde. And if you can harness this, you can have whatever you want to manifest. But this is what is hindering any kind of advancements you want in your life. This is the reason why. And very few people talk about it. So hopefully this helped to answer all your questions as to why, for some reason, you're not being blessed, you're not advancing, why you keep hitting brick walls. And hopefully this will help get you in the right direction. Take care, everyone, and I will see you in my next video.